And the kind of the way that it came to me with I love watching sci-fi and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of see it this way, that God has a secretly encoded message that he has embedded within you. That while he was forming you and fashioning you, he also kind of threw in some messages and coding there about what he wants to do with you. Sometimes we can view ourselves through somebody else's eyes. That's a very dangerous thing. Boy, I feel this very strongly upon me today. Stop looking at yourself through someone else's eyes. I was very, very bad at that, especially as a teenager. I remember coming out of the school one day and in high school and walked past these girls sitting out on the steps. And so one of them said to the other, man, this school sure ain't got no nice looking, I ain't gonna say what they said, but it sure ain't got no nice looking guys. And so since I heard that statement and I viewed myself through that girl's eyes. And so for a long time, there are many of you are like that. You may never admit it, but somebody said something or looked at you a certain way. And you started seeing yourself through their eyes. It wasn't even just what they said. It was the way they said it. Sometimes people didn't say a word. They just looked at you and go, and you, what does that mean? But that's not who you are. So fantasies versus dreams is very, very different. A dream, particularly God's dream, is a vision and a glimpse into the days that are fashioned for us. God's purpose and plan and his will for our lives. That's what a dream is. It comes from God, and it has to do with what's been ordained or laid out or set aside for you. I believe that the secretly encoded dream and message was embedded in your substance. What do you mean, Pastor Chris? It was embedded in us while God was forming us. I believe that there is really no greater creation in the universe than the human being, because God created us in his image and after his likeness. I believe that God put a small piece of his purpose in every soul. A small piece of his purpose, what he's trying to do throughout the world. He's trying to put a small piece of that. He put it in us. But each piece of his purpose, it requires his presence in order to activate it. It's there, but it's not activated until we receive into our lives. We're all born into this world spiritually disconnected from God. And it's not until we make that connection that we discover the purpose for our birth. And that's when we begin to connect with that secretly encoded dream. When we connect with that secretly encoded dream, with the Lord, then we connect with the dream that God actually placed within us. Connecting with God is the only thing that really activates the code. Isn't that a way? I know I put it in science fiction, like science terms, but I hope you're hearing me today. Connecting with God is what activates the code. Connecting with God activates the code. That's why there are so many millions of people that are tremendously talented, but they're not living out the purpose of God. Why? Because they're not connected to him. They're still able to operate in their gifts, in their talents, but they're not operating in the purpose of God. What I mean by purpose, the coding that he put within them, the days that he ordained for them, they're not living in that.